If your air conditioning isn't working on a hot summer day, you know how long and miserable the workday can be. And if that failure is an AC hose, you probably also know how time-consuming and frustrating it can be to find the correct replacement part. We offer an alternative solution with our AC hose and fitting repair program. Get your truck, tractor, bus, or other air-conditioned equipment repaired quickly using our program. In today's video, we'll learn how to use our crimp tools to properly crimp a beadlock-style AC fitting. Here are a few examples of beadlock-style AC fittings. This is the fitting side. Note that there are several different connection types. And this is the hose side. We call this the crimp shell. Note that the crimp shell is attached to the tube portion of the fitting. We call it a beadlock-style fitting because the crimp shell is secured to the tube by a bead that is formed during the manufacturing process. Before we discuss proper crimping procedures, it is important to understand the two hose variants and their respective hose sizes to ensure a proper match between the fitting and the hose. There are two different hose variants. The first is referred to as standard diameter, and the second is reduced diameter. Originally developed by Goodyear and sold under the Galaxy name, the standard diameter hose has been around for decades. The Galaxy name still exists and is currently owned and produced by Continental. Standard diameter hose is known as Galaxy 4826. This hose is more often found in agricultural and heavy equipment applications. Reduced diameter hose was developed later as manufacturing processes improved. It is smaller and lighter. It also allows for tighter radius bends. Reduced diameter hose is known as Galaxy 4890. This hose is most often found in heavy-duty trucks. Each of these two hose variants come in four main sizes, often referred to as number 6, number 8, number 10, and number 12. Reduced diameter hose also comes in a size number 14 and occasionally in a size number 16. The inside diameter of the two hose variants are the same for each number. For example, the number 10 hose's inside diameter is 1/2 inch or 13 millimeter for both standard diameter and reduced diameter hose. However, the standard diameter hose wall is much thicker, so the outside diameter is much larger than the equivalent reduced diameter hose. The fittings themselves are often exactly the same for standard diameter and reduced diameter hose, except for the crimp shell. Make certain that you do not attempt to use a standard diameter fitting with reduced diameter hose. Now let's move on to the crimp tool itself. This hydraulic crimper comes in two versions. The first one has an integrated pump handle. It is compact and portable. The second has a hydraulic quick connect fitting, compatible with Porta-Power type hydraulic hand and foot pumps. The head of both versions of the crimp tool are the same. Both versions also come with dies that will crimp all of the number 6 through number 12 standard diameter and reduced diameter beadlock fittings. It can also crimp number 14 reduced diameter fittings. The dies are color-coded and marked for proper identification. The digital version of this information can also be found on our website. Okay, let's set up the crimp tool. First, identify the correct die for the size hose and fitting to be crimped. Disconnect the pin in the crimp tool's head and open the head. Correctly insert the dies as shown. Take care that the dies are correctly seated in the crimp tool's head. Close the head and reinsert the pin, making certain the pin is fully inserted. Close the hydraulic valve by rotating it clockwise until hand tight. Do not over-tighten and never use tools such as pliers to tighten the valve. If using the integrated hand pump version, place the unit on a solid surface. A significant amount of force is required to fully crimp the hose. Now let's set up the fitting and hose. Again, make certain the fitting and hose are properly matched. Insert the hose into the fitting, making sure it is fully seated by using the small hole as a viewing window. You should be able to see the hose in the window. Let's proceed with the crimping. Insert the hose and fitting through the die in the crimp tool head. Center the crimp shell in the dies. Depress the hand lever until the dies make contact with the crimp shell and hold it in place. Recheck the position of the dies on the crimp shell and make sure it is still centered. Continue to depress the hand lever until fully compressed. The edges of the dies will now be touching each other. To open the crimp tool, turn the valve counterclockwise just enough that the crimp tool head returns to its original location. Remove the pin and open the crimp tool head. Remove your crimped fitting and inspect. Make certain the crimps are properly centered. Finally, let's check the crimp spec. Using calipers, check each of the center crimps and note the measurements. Add the 3 numbers together and divide by 3 to get the average. Compare your findings with the specs available on the website. Always check the crimp spec to ensure a quality seal. As you can see, crimping your own AC hose is easy. Repairing or rebuilding your own AC hoses can save both time and money.